everyone, this is Gershon from Technical Option Traders Inc. Hope you guys are having a great day. So we're going to talk about common day trading mistakes that day traders make based on their styles of trading and what they expect, versus what really happens when you're a day trader, right? So let's get the ball rolling. So the first common mistake that day traders make is not waiting for your setup. Now, what does this mean, right? So if you're a day trader, you can have multiple ways of trading. You could be trading on the 5-minute, you could be trading on the 1 hour, the 30-minute, depending on your trading style, right? Some day traders like to use EMAs, some like to use RSI MACDs. Whatever your trading style is, whatever your edge is, you gotta figure that out. And whatever your edge is, and you gotta track when you make your profits. When is the market conditions in your favor? Wait for your market conditions to come to you. Don't go to make your own market conditions. Okay? Wait for the conditions to turn in your favor so you can start profiting. The biggest mistake right here is not waiting for your setup. All right, so an example of this would be, someone who wanted to go long S&P 500 and they saw that, it's in an uptrend, and they were looking at it on this particular day here, and they're thinking, you know what, I think it's gonna break because S&P is bullish, and so on and so forth, and they take a trade. Okay, and they take the trade and they buy SPY calls for some reason. Okay, or even right about here, they buy SPY calls, and they're obviously going to end up losing out, right? So let's have another look here. So your day trader, you're looking at this is a green volume right here. This is a resistance level, and there's a wick here, right? So if this part is going to get covered. There was huge selling pressure. Compare the previous selling pressure, right? So if the volume is going to pick up here, you're going to see the stock or S&P 500 SPY close above this level. So a better trade would be waiting for SPY to get above this, break this, and get above, right? So clearly we already know what happens here, right? It doesn't do that. It goes to test it, but it fails. So you have to be very careful in how you trade the positions. Always wait for your setup. Okay, don't rush it. It's a marathon. It's not a race, right? It's not a sprint. The other thing is, look at multiple time frames. This is like the most important thing. So for example, if I'm trading here on the 5-minute, over here I'll have the 15, and then I'll have the 1 hour, and then I'll look at what's going on in the market on these separate time frames. Just so I can get an idea of where to place my trade, right? So I want to see where the buying pressure is, right? So on the 15-minute, we're starting to see, okay, stock is starting to move downwards. There's a short-term downtrend line. Okay, it breaks, say, unable to go lower here, right? It starts to bounce, gets above this level. Maybe I take a trade here based on the fact that, okay, it's moving up on multiple time frames and the volume is starting to pick up here. Right, the volume is starting to rise. So this could be a quick scalp for me, but I know that in the morning it had trouble at this level. So maybe even if I get in here, this is my exit. So this is a quick 3-point scalp. You have to know psychologically when you're gonna exit. Why? Of course, it could have gone higher from here. If it does, then I'll probably wait for the break of 438 and my target will be 442. You have to look at multiple time frames and set up your levels accordingly on those time frames. Where were the buyers? Is this a fake out move, or is this going to be a continuation? Now, right here, I know a lot of people day trading, even in the community, thought SPY was going to go much higher from here because this candlestick, if you go to a shorter time frame, like 1 minute, we saw a huge spike here. It got above that level right about here, and we saw that it touched it, bounced. Sure, on the 1 minute, it's a great idea to get in here, but your exit should be right about here as well. So this is a 1-point move here. So your loss is very, very small, right? If it's gonna reverse, it's gonna come back, and we're gonna see a further follow through. But we should be always paying attention to the buying as retail traders. Is buying starting to accelerate, or is it decelerating? Like towards the end of the day, we're starting to see huge buying volume, right? Starting to push up, but this is already a down move. As we can see, aftermarket, a lot of unloading in the S&P 500. So we'll see how it works out, but this is how you have to look at the multiple time frames to help you determine if the pressure is on the upside, is it going to continue, and use volume to help you out as well. Okay, lack of focus. This is the biggest thing that traders experience. Lack of focus. There's too much information. Their charts look something like this right here. They have too many lines drawn. They're using Fibonacci's. They're using EMAs. They're using, they're using so much stuff, right? I just personally, what I use, I look at the buying and selling pressure, and I look at, where did the price test last, and I wait to see what it does, right? For example, right? So the famous stock everybody likes to trade, day trade, or we trade in our community is Tesla. If I look at this chart on the 1 hour, and I'm gonna go daily here, and I'll just leave this at the 30 minute. So if I'm looking at this chart right here, Tesla, I can clearly identify there's a supply zone right about here. Okay, so this is where Tesla is having issues. It's not able to get above it. It ends up making a lower high right about here, right? So, and this is confirmed when I look at the bigger picture as well. But it has a lot of support in these zones. Okay, so there's right now temporarily there's a lot of buyers in this area. Okay, in between here, there is just noise. It's just choppiness of trading. This is how Tesla just moves, right? So if I go down to the 15-minute chart, I'm going to find a lot of areas where I can trade. For example, the last couple of days, so I'm going to leave this on the hourly 30-minute. If we just look at Tesla, Tesla consolidated for a few days here. Consolidation trades are really big for me because that means that price is either going to break out or break down. So we can see Tesla tested here for 1, 2, and on the third day, it finally broke down. Right? It made sense for me to make this trade because multiple time frames were confirming that if this level broke here, it's going to come breaking down, right? This is the daily chart. So if you have a look at that, but the support is here. So even if I enter here, where am I going to exit? My first exit was right here at the gap fill, right? So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to let it ride because I have a feeling this gap could be filled. I'm going to take it out here. It went a little bit lower, but that's okay. The next day it opened. When it got below the previous day low, I already know the gap was filled the day prior, right? So I'm like, you know what, let's just see what happens. If we can get below this, we can possibly take a trade, and my exit would be very quick scalp at this zone because I know this is a demand zone. So what I want to see is I want to see huge selling pressure for Tesla to get below this, because if it does get below it, I know the level is 795. Identify, look at multiple time frames, have a focus. Like, there's not a lot of charts, there's not a lot of lines here. It's just a clear picture of what Tesla is going to do, what it could potentially do, and how am I going to confirm it by rising price action. If price rises, I'll trade it, right? The only other thing that I use is I use an opening range break. So I look at the first about 15 minutes of trading. So I'll adjust this from 9:30 to about 9:45. Right, and this is what I look at. So if opening, where is the opening ranges over the last days, right? So this is my resistance support level right here. If it gets a resistance and support, if it gets above this, could take a call. If it gets below this, could trade some puts. I always know. So my other methodology of trading, I'll get into it later, but this is something I use as well, just to keep myself clear and focused on my idea of trading. All right, so what you guys need to do and understand, if you want to be successful day traders, come up with a plan, test that plan, go back in time and look at what the plan has done for you, right? So whether it's you're trading EMA crossover, 8 and 21 day crossover, or you're trading the 50 and the 100 day crossover if you're a swing trader, whatever your trading style is, write it down, okay? And then simplify that method by, okay, you're gonna take a trade only if it fits your requirement. Okay, there's multiple people who take multiple trades based on different conditions. You have to figure out what your edge is and trade based on that condition. Otherwise, you're not going to be a successful trader. And the last thing, keep track of all your trades. You want to keep in mind when you made the most money and how, right? And you want to repeat that process. And you want to look at where you lost the most money, and you want to just reduce it. So even if you're losing 20%, let's just say you bring that down to 15%. Now you're saving 5 more percent, whether that is by not trading at all. So it's all about risk to reward. You just have to figure that out. But for now, the advice I have for you guys is simplify your trading, come up with a focus, okay? Look at multiple time frames and don't focus on too many stocks. And the other thing is, don't listen to news. The price will lead. If you're a news trader, great. You listen to the news and you trade, that's great. But if you look at what's going on with the S&P and the markets, it hasn't been beneficial to be a news trader, okay? So this is my just a little tidbit for you guys, just to see how I can help you guys become better traders. There will be more videos coming out about technical analysis and how you guys can make it better.